So if they're talking, by the way, about blaming the ADL for advertisers fleeing, the reason why advertisers are fleeing is not because people at the ADL are reporting on the far-right ecosystem being crafted by Elon Musk. Once advertisers realize that their posts are showing up under MAGA CAG 1488 saying some shit about black people, advertisers not a big fan of being associated with that kind of rhetoric. To the broader public, to most normies, that kind of rhetoric is repulsive. It pushes them away, and it makes them feel bad about those companies that are appearing in advertisements next to those posts. And that can lead to those companies losing money. And the one thing companies don't want to do is lose money. So, in order to avoid losing money, they pull their advertising from websites like Twitter. And that's what has happened. The ADL simply reporting on it doesn't really matter. You're shooting the messenger. Wait, what? This has to be fake, right? From X News Daily. X will remove the interaction counts, likes, reposts from the main timeline, so you'd have to click a post to see them, leaving only view counts. You will be able to see these numbers when you tap into a post. The intent of this is to improve readability. So essentially the vibe here is there will be a lot of dumbass conservatives posting some dumbass shit, and they'll get ratioed, and the amount of likes won't be readily apparent. So that when you're just scrolling, in order to see the ratio, you're going to have to click the post. And this way, you can have more and more people post far-right propaganda. And it can have like 2 likes, and if it just happens to show up on your feed, if you don't click on it, then you'll never know why the fuck it's on your feed. Elon Musk. Those ugly URL cards with repetitive text were making my eyes bleed. So much better now. It's literally not better. I don't know what my Elon Musk voice is, by the way. We'll just give him this one. Next, we'll remove all the action buttons from their superfluous interaction counts from the main timeline. Just view count will show unless you tap into a post. This will greatly improve readability. That's my Elon Musk impression. Press 1 in the chat if you think it was good. Thank you. Fucking dumbass. How could you curate a site to right-wingers that specifically? There was actually an interesting article that Ben Collins was talking about that. See if I can find it. I'm going down with the ship when it comes to Twitter. I don't give a fuck. But then once the ship is down, I will have to reassess my options.
Everybody.
Excuse me. My real voice came out for a second. We've got Ben Collins, 1_. He was one of the people, by the way, that was banned by Elon for reporting on the Elon jet thing on the free speech platform of Twitter. What's going on with Elon Musk, and why is he doing this to Twitter? I spent the last few months digging into it. I found a pretty big clue. I got a raging clue right now.
Hey everybody.
Oh, there's already...
I've spent the last few months trying to figure out why Elon Musk is doing what he's doing to Twitter. And I think I finally found a clue. This article here. It's called Battle of the Century. Here's what happens if Elon Musk buys Twitter. And it outlines almost exactly what it would do over the next year. It tells him to buy the company outright, which he does. It tells him to blame the ADL once advertisers start fleeing. It is pretty prescient. And it also says Musk buying Twitter would be the declaration of war against the globalist American empire.
So if they're talking, by the way, about blaming the ADL for advertisers fleeing, even though the reason why advertisers are fleeing is not because people like the ADL, and I have misgivings with that organization, but it's not that people at the ADL or anywhere else, like Media Matters, whatever, are reporting on the far-right ecosystem being crafted by Elon Musk, and a lot of the dangerous rhetoric being allowed, whereas other social networks have kind of figured out that you can still keep these right-wingers on the platform because they're conducive to outrage views, and that makes you money, because it's an attention economy. You can keep them on there, just, shadow ban them, don't actually ban them, maybe, delete the posts, yada, yada, yada. Once advertisers realize that their posts are showing up under MAGA CAG 1488 saying some shit about black people, they don't like that. advertisers, not a big fan of being associated with that kind of rhetoric. Now, it's not necessarily that they disagree with whatever's being said. It's that to the broader public, to, most normies, that kind of rhetoric is repulsive. It repulses them. It pushes them away. And it makes them feel bad about those companies that are, appearing in advertisements next to those posts. And that can lead to those companies losing money. And the one thing companies don't want to do is lose money, because the whole point of having a company is to make the most money you possibly can. So, in order to avoid losing money, they pretend to give a shit about a variety of social issues that, through progress, have become untouchable in terms of being a bigot about them. And, they get mad and pull their advertising from websites like Twitter. And that's what has happened. The ADL simply reporting on it doesn't really matter, right? They're just doing the reporting. You're shooting the messenger. But the reason why they talk about the ADL is because they are Jewish, right? There's a lot of Jewish people at the ADL. They are, unfortunately, Zionist as well. They support the right-wing Netanyahu government and its occupation of the Palestinian people in Palestine, in the West Bank. So that's why I don't like the ADL, because they, provide cover for a far-right regime in Israel. But they don't like the ADL because there happen to be Jewish people there, and they don't like Jewish people. Elon Musk fans, right-wingers, conservatives. And you can tell that when they talk about how transforming Twitter back into a real free speech platform and Elon buying Twitter would be a declaration of war against so-called globalist American empire. Globalist meaning Jewish, because it is a long understood dog whistle that literally just means Jewish.
Now, how do I know that Elon Musk saw this article? It's because it was texted to him 10 days before he bought the company. So I hired...
And we know that him buying the company was not the smartest decision on paper and in the way that he did it.
A very authoritative sounding British guy to read those texts to you.
Congratulations. The above article is laying out some of the things that might happen. Step 1, blame the
Why is this
platform
music?
for its users. Step 2, coordinated pressure campaign. Step 3, exodus of the blue checks. Step 4, deplatforming, but it will not be easy. It will be a war. Let the battle begin.
So here's why it's important to find out who sent that text to Elon. It's because this blog is run by a guy named Darren Beatty. He used to be a Trump administration official,
Really?
speechwriter, who was fired for appearing on a panel alongside white nationalists.
That's interesting. I don't know, for some reason, a lot of these writers, a Trump speechwriter, one of Tucker Carlson's former writers, just happen to be palling around with white supremacists, white nationalists, people who are not generally fans of black and brown people, queer people, women. Somehow, it's just always happening. Nobody knows why. Who's to say?
Now, Laura Kolodny, my colleague, and I spent about 9 months trying to get the sender of that text unsealed. Those texts appear in a lawsuit from when Elon Musk tried to back out of buying Twitter.
And then was forced to because of not his own will, after he realized his mistake, but, said judicial means. And now I'm seeing, I think it was Reuters reporting that while Elon bought Twitter for $44 billion, it seems to be valued around $8 billion now. It used to be cut in half, 22. Now it seems to be potentially down to 8. Not good, folks. Not really a savvy business move. Perhaps one of the worst trade deals, believe me.
When we got more texts unsealed, the senders of those texts unsealed, this one was still redacted. So we really want to find out who sent that text. And there are people in the world who have an unredacted version of that document. If you are one of those people,
I'm not.
We probably know who you are.
You don't.
So please reach out to us.
I won't.
So we can solve this mystery.
I hope you do. And he actually even went on, that redacted guy gets around. He's got his fingers in a lot of pies. I think, Ben Collins even went on Rachel Maddow to talk about this. I want to see if I can find that. I'm free scrolling this right now on stream, but it's Ben Collins. I don't expect anything crazy to be here. He didn't post it. One sec. Oh, I'm not free scrolling it. Wait, how long have I been on this scene? Did I just switch to it after we finished watching the video? Okay, holy shit. I thought I was on this the whole time and you couldn't see the video. And nobody was bringing it up. Alright, then we got the same dude, Ben Collins, on Rachel Maddow's program. I don't know if there's any new information here. There might be.
And, I mean, the thing about the Anti-Defamation League being the target here is this is a Jewish civil rights organization to have these two things line up, where you've got these recommendations to Musk to do all these things that he has done that will elicit the reaction that has occurred, and then he should blame a Jewish civil rights group, to have that along with people proposing that sort of roadmap publicly, who are associated with white nationalists. And the very, I mean, a ragged far-right fringe so distasteful to even the Trump White House that they felt the need to fire somebody from the White House who was espousing these kinds of views and associating with these.
Imagine being farther right than Donald Trump's administration. God damn.
People. I mean, that to me just feels like fireworks. It just feels like an incredibly dangerous thing.
Yeah, if you actually look back through this, and I've talked to.
Why is she fading to gray? I don't feel so good. She about to dissolve? She get Thanos snapped?
A lot of people on the Elon Musk beat over the last few months, and what they want to say to you is that while all of this stuff looks like chaos and nonsense and like he doesn't know what he's doing, it's possible this guy had a plan. And just because a plan is bad and leads to bad outcomes for almost everybody,
like most Elon Musk plans,
doesn't mean he didn't have a plan. And that's what we saw, coming out of this. Can I just read you to the end of this article? Because it's kind of fascinating. He says, the globalist American empire will never be brought down unless people like Elon Musk are ready to step up to the plate with the genuinely bold, risky, and meaningful moves like buying and liberating Twitter. But it will not be easy. It will be war. Let the battle begin. That's what was texted him, by the way, at the end there. And then they recommend hiring a CEO of enforcement, which they wound up doing with Linda Yaccarino. Basically one
poor woman, by the way. She took the job, obviously, but I don't know that she knew what she was getting into. God damn. She has had some public appearances that have not looked very good for her or Twitter.
One, the strategy happened in real time on Twitter. So I'm just suggesting, maybe think about this as a plan. It's a bad plan for you and me, but it may have been a plan all along.
Fuck, I feel like there's more than that. Regardless, obviously, I don't know that we'll ever find confirmation for this story unless reporters are, and with Maddow now on the squad, with communist MSNBC, they might be able to get unsealed the person who sent the text and then ask questions to that person and maybe, find out if there's anything more going on there through journalism, shockingly. Other than that happening, unless the person comes out of their own will to talk about it, and even then you would have to verify it through getting the documents. We may never know, but it's not shocking to me because, like he says, it's all kind of happened, and it's not surprising if you've followed my channel or a variety of other left-wing channels that it was kind of the goal. Not to tank Twitter's valuation, it was probably because they were in a echo chamber bubble thinking it would actually help the platform and be a lucrative investment. Or they might have known that it wouldn't have been because they clearly did with the advertisers fleeing. Maybe they thought the hit wouldn't be that bad, but Elon Musk would be able to take the hit, take the L, because he's, one of the richest people in the world, for the greater good of spreading white supremacy to Twitter users. Who's to say? I guess we'll find out. I'll have to keep updated on this particular story because it's very interesting to me. I don't know how much consequence there would be of this being true. I just think it would be funny if it was.